Hey y'all, Pink Lady here. Welcome back to another episode of Bet on Yourself, Sis. I'm your host, Jasmine Gary, aka Pink Lady. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm super excited. I know I'm always excited, but this is going to be a great episode, y'all. Today's guest is Derdine Brown. She is a therapist and the founder of Sip and Stretch Date Night. And in this episode, we talk about Derdine's yoga journey, which is very, very similar to my own. We talk about the birth of her business, Sip and Stretch Date Night. We talk about building community through yoga, trusting the process in business, what intimacy really means and the different types, authenticity in teaching and business. We talk about meeting people where they're at, sitting in discomfort, and Derdine gives throughout the episode, she gives like some really great advice for Black women entrepreneurs. So, in the episode, you will hear how I found Derdine and how long I've been waiting to speak to her. And now I get why after hearing the conversation because it was so good. And yes, I mean hearing the conversation because I do the editing, right? But yeah, her business and what she has created I think is really special. And it's a really great example of trusting the process, right? So be sure to check her out.
Yeah. Bet on yourself, sis. Bet on yourself, sis. You've got the goal, confidence and style. Let your power show. You such Derdine, I am so happy to have you here. I have been
Me
trying to talk to
too.
you for the longest, but I believe in divine timing. So I believe we are here to have this conversation right now, and this is what was meant to be.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So let
Yep.
me just tell the people how I found you. I found you on Instagram. Just scrolling actually one time. I found you and I'm like, ooh, yoga. Okay, because Derdine does yoga is the handle, right? So I'm like, okay, I love that. And then I saw the sip and stretch that you do. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I have to try it. And I'm in Jersey. So the closest that you come to Jersey is Philly. Well, because I'm in Trenton, New Jersey. So that's closer to Philly than like New York.
New York.
But Philly sells out quick. So a few times I saw you come to Philly, and I'm just like, I took time, and I shouldn't have done that. I had to tell my partner, I'm like, oh, we should try this, and I should have just bought the ticket. So it was like two times you came to Philly and sold out quick. But
Yeah.
like the third
Yeah.
time I saw, I was on. As soon as I saw it,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm booking these tickets
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I
Philly's good
have
to
to
me.
try it. Oh my gosh, and it was amazing.
Thank you.
It's something that you say before we kind of get started, which was like I thought it was so beautiful. You just kind of make people aware that some of the couples that are here may be going through things, right? So just be aware of your energy, be aware of the things that you're doing, and because we were one of the couples that were going through it when we went, so it was just
Yeah.
like, oh, you're so mindful of these things and intentional, and I really love that.
Thank
So I will
you.
stop fangirling and I will let you get into who you are, what you do, and talk all about the sip and stretch night and how that was created, how the idea came to you, and all of that.
Okay. And please feel free to like just interject and ask questions because we're
Yeah.
just vibing. We're just talking
Yes,
here.
absolutely.
Um, so yeah, name is Derdine, and it's actually, which is I know it's a little weird, but it's actually Dudu does yoga,
Right,
and
right.
people are always like, "Why would you name yourself Dudu?" And I'm like, it's like people are like Dudu, and I'm like, it's not what you think. It's actually so I'm Haitian American. I always tell people I was conceived in Haiti, but my mom made it here just in time for me to be a U.S. citizen,
Okay.
right? So I'm from Florida, and "dudu" is like a term of endearment. So it's kind of like saying honey or babe or something like that, but it's like a
Mhm.
term of endearment in the Haitian culture, like
Yeah.
Sherry Dudu, right? So that's kind of I think when I created my Instagram, you know, when Instagram kind of started getting popular
Yeah.
back 12, 15 years ago, whatever that
Way back
was,
when, yeah.
way back when. That it's a different beast
Because you've
now,
been
but
doing
yeah,
it for a
way
long
back.
time, you can tell.
I've been doing it for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of made the handle name Dudu Does Yoga, and it just, I've
been into yoga for quite some time. And I think I got into yoga actually, yeah, from Instagram. That's how I got into it.
Mm.
Was Instagram. I saw somebody. Well, let me go back. I actually got into yoga about. Not. I didn't get into it. I got introduced to yoga when I was in college. So I
Okay.
think like 2002 or something like that. I went to a yoga class and I was like, get me out of here. Like after 15,
Really?
20 minutes of it, I was like, this is so boring. Oh
Okay.
my God. I was like, I gotta go. I'd rather go study or go, go
Was it the
walk around the yard
pacing?
or
It's like
something.
it's too slow pace. It's like
It was slow
just
paced, all the
boring.
breathing and
Yes.
all this music. And I'm like, what is this? So I was like, I gotta get out of here. So I never touched yoga again,
Okay.
right? So in 2013, I don't know if you follow, but like gosh, what's her name? Hippie Heathen. There's another one. Oh my gosh, what's her name? I can't remember, but she's got a company called True Yoga. But I saw them do like a yoga challenge,
Mm.
and they're Black women. So they're doing a yoga challenge, like 30 days of yoga or 10 days, whatever it was. And I saw one of them, but they were standing on their head. And I'm like, what is that? I was so intrigued. I was
Okay.
like, okay, what's this?
Yeah.
So I got into this challenge and I just started practicing these poses. And I didn't really think of it as yoga. I just thought of it something fun to do while I'm at
Mhm.
home.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I can't even really describe it because it was fun. It was a moment to myself. It was a moment for me to see, like, when I put some work into it, that one, I can enjoy it and it doesn't have to feel like I'm doing a chore.
Mhm.
And two, I could see progress.
Yes.
Like, I was seeing progress. Like almost every day, I was seeing a little bit of progress, a little bit of
Nice.
progress.
Yeah.
And one day, I just was able to just stand on top of my head do a headstand, like within it was quick, like within a month or something
Mm.
like that. And I'm not like, I mean, I'm not athletic at all, but I enjoy fitness and things like that. But I'm not like heavy into it.
Mhm.
So I think I don't have like a lot of gymnastic abilities,
Okay.
but doing that, I just really enjoyed it. I just
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed just having fun with it. And I felt like I was just having something just for me to
Mhm.
do. And that's kind of how I got into the whole yoga, aka Duda Does Yoga thing. So I said, you know
Mhm.
what? I'm gonna have fun with this and just post the things how I develop into this whole yoga scene. And that's how
Yeah.
the Does Yoga came about.
Wow.
But yes, I live in Florida, in Orlando, Florida. I'm a Florida baby, Haitian American from South Florida, really. I'm a therapist out here, so I've been a therapist now since 2013. It is my second career. Um, and the yoga wasn't a business up until after COVID. That's when it really kind of became a business.
Okay.
But I've been practicing yoga and doing therapy since 2013. So I guess I'm in the wellness field. I don't like the labels, but
Yeah.
however people want to put me in a box, technically that's what I'm in. So yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely not gonna put you in a box because you do so many things around wellness. So we don't like to put people in
Yeah.
boxes here. But I love a lot of what you said. Definitely about progress, right? Because we
Yeah.
live in a world of instant, right? And if people don't
Oh,
get it right
yeah.
now, then they don't want it, right?
Oh my
So
gosh, yeah. Yeah, and I get it. I get it. I want things to happen
yeah.
right now.
Mhm.
And that has been one of the biggest pieces and one of the biggest benefits about yoga. It's just for the most part. I mean, I can't wake up and be like, I want to be an NBA basketball player. That's probably not going to
Yeah.
happen. One, my age, my height, the skill set. I don't have that. But you give me 30 days, I might be able to learn how to shoot a hoop. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yes.
And yoga is very much that. It's really teaching you to embrace the slowness,
Mm,
to embrace to embrace the baby step. And
yeah.
honestly, from that, because before that, I was an instant girl. Like I'm like, I just want things to happen.
Mhm.
But yoga really taught me to slow down and to see the baby steps as progress and just to believe that eventually it's gonna if I keep at it, being realistic now, like the whole NBA thing. If I keep at it, something's going to come from this. Something
Absolutely.
is going to come from it. And
Yeah.
that's so everything I do, even in my therapy practice, I hone in on baby steps, y'all.
Yes.
Okay, if we were crying heavy today because of a breakup, let's see how we are a week from now. I know you're still crying, but maybe you're crying a little less now. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you're having other feelings of, you're able to find a little bit more joy today. So it's really learning how to embrace these baby steps, because a lot of times
Absolutely.
I think we just lose sight on that. And I get it. The world that we live in, we see people that are automatically so happy, but we don't think about like how they got there. Or even in the successes that they've had, whether it's in their aspirations or career. Nobody thinks about how they got there. They just want
Right.
to get to the destination. But the journey is
Absolutely.
so important. But yoga is really what taught me that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yoga
Absolutely.
really taught me
Yoga
that.
teaches you to stay present, like in this moment. Like take every
Hallelujah.
moment as right now, and like not it's not about
Yes.
like not planning for the future. Yes, plan for the future. Yes, think about your future, but like take those moments when you can and just be
Yeah.
all in that moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because I
Yeah.
had a similar like yoga journey, right? The first time I did yoga, I was at a cheer camp in Hawaii. And I think that kind of sets the stage, right? Cheer camp, Hawaii. It was,
Yeah.
it was that type of thing. And I actually enjoyed it. It was good. It felt good on my body, but I never did it again until COVID. And
Okay.
then COVID, I started doing yoga. I was just looking for something. I got laid off and I was
Y-
bored home all day.
Ooh,
We couldn't work. So it's just like
yes.
I
Yes.
needed something. So it was the perfect time.
Yeah.
I did yoga outside like every day. And it was the same thing. I was just started to see little progress. I started to realize like, oh, I can meditate. Like I can be present in the moment and not have the thoughts gonna drift as they as they do, but like I can come back to this moment. I can keep coming back. Like my body feels stronger. Like I feel good. It just was like, okay, like yeah, I'm getting into this thing and I love it.
We have a similar experience
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
because I was always doing yoga, but I got my certification in 2018, but when COVID came 2020, I got laid off. And yeah, like you, I had nothing to do. I think I got dumped. And
Mm,
yeah, and
mm,
that honestly, it helped with my anxiety, it helped with my sadness at the time. It's that moment where I could be outside and feel good and work on myself and work on my body
yep.
and meditate and just kind of be present rather than all the
Yes.
things that I don't have control over.
Yes.
So it's amazing that we have a very
Yeah.
similar journey with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so how
Yeah.
did sip and stretch come from? Like, you're now on your yoga journey, you're getting into it, you got your certification and you're like, all right.
Mhm.
And then the pivot,
Mhm.
not was it a pivot into sip and stretch, or was it just like a growth into
It
talk about
was
it?
it was Sip and Stretch was a let me go back a little
Okay.
bit. So I'm a therapist. I'm
Hmm.
a mental health therapist. I only work with individuals.
Okay.
I don't touch couples with a 10-foot pole.
Oh.
Couples are difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, people are difficult. So let alone getting two people, different backgrounds, different ways of thinking, and
Different
to
communication
facilitate.
styles.
Oh my God, facilitating that is hard. So I never had
Yeah.
any interest in working with couples. Right now, I kind of do a little bit now that I'm in this life, but for me to even be doing this is what I say is God. This is not me. This is
Mm,
like beyond me.
mm,
So
yeah.
I so the way Sip and Stretch came about was during COVID, right? So for people, a lot of people, COVID was such a difficult time, but it was a bit of a rebirth for me, is how I see kind of COVID,
Yeah.
right? So I'm doing my practice thing, whatever. We're all kind of like having our little community online, and I'm, doing my little post stuff. And there is a group in Orlando. It's basically a Haitian group of Orlando of young professionals, and they reached out to me to do a couples yoga class.
Mm,
And this is like in the end of November or December, and we're going into the new year. So I think at this point, this is the beginning of 20. They approached me at the end of 2020. So
okay.
this is going into 2021. We're thinking of coming outside back into the world again,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
We're reintroducing that idea. And so they approached me about a couples yoga class, and I'm like, I don't do couples yoga. I
Nope.
I barely do yoga classes,
Okay.
and I just don't do that. And the girl reached out to me through my DM, and she's like, "Well, can you just like try to put something together?" And I'm like, I guess. I
Okay.
mean, okay, whatever. I'm not doing nothing. I ain't got no job, so sure, fine,
Yeah.
So I I didn't know what to do. I just started kind of going online, just researching a couple of things. Didn't really like anything that I saw online of so I said, okay, I'm just going to just do what I do. I'm going to take a couple of these things that I see online, but just kind of put my own little mix into it, right? So I think we had the class in January as part of a whole New Year's thing. And so they put it on, and I just kind of facilitated this class. And it was probably about maybe 12 to 15 couples, something like that. And it wasn't even just couples. It was really like a partner class. So it was mainly couples, but like people came with their best friend, their
Okay.
sister, things, people that they connected with, that they felt that they wanted to do these poses with. So they came into the class. I facilitated the class, and I facilitated it in a way that I would practice, like the way that I've been practicing my yoga, right? So I had music. I um, did some dancing stuff into it. I just kind of did it like how I practice at home. It's, the way I practice at home is very nonchalant. There's not quite structure to it. There's a little bit of structure, and then there's some flexibility in there too. Um, and the class just it went great. It went great. And I'm like, all right, that was actually pretty cool. And they brought refreshments, right? They brought refreshments. They brought
Right.
some wine and some light hors d'oeuvres and something like that. And I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But okay, let's just do it. So they brought refreshments, and it was just kind of like a whole little we're all just kind of getting together, vibing, chatting afterwards, and people said they enjoyed it. I've never done anything like this before. So I'm like, all right, cool. And the guy that I was dating at that time, he was like, you know what? Maybe you should do this again. Like, reach out to the Haitian group and see if they wanted to do it again. So I reached out. I was like, you guys can bring the refreshment stuff. I'll just bring in what I do in the
Yeah.
class. And they, this is my memory is quite bad, but at the end of the day, they weren't interested really. It was just
Okay.
kind of like a one time
Okay.
thing. They weren't really interested, is what I got from it. So I said, okay, well then, and the guy's like, well, then maybe you should just do it yourself. And I'm like, I don't even know where to start. Like, I've never done anything, no events or anything like this before. It's like, well, just start, right? Going back to the baby steps and just kind of seeing where it goes. Just do what you know what to do, and then you'll start adding onto it the more and more you do it, right? So I did. I never put on an event or anything like that. I got some wine, and I did an Eventbrite, and I had my first class of like, I think like five couples, right? And this room,
Okay.
and this room is huge. But I
Oh.
was so excited. I was like, I can't believe people want to come and do this, right?
Yes.
And it wasn't anybody that was in the class before. It was just completely new people, right? And it was all black people. It was all of us, right? And that's the other thing. Like, you normally don't really see black people
Mm-mm.
in the yoga space. So
Especially couples.
especially couples.
Mm-hmm.
So I did this first class, and I just got such a high from it. And I
Yes.
just saw these couples just really just really connecting together and enjoying themselves. And it's like, and especially it's black men
Mm.
that are able to just kind of like let their
Mm-hmm.
guard down, and then just see the person in front of them, and nobody's thinking about no kids. No one's
Mm-hmm.
thinking about this shit that's going on outside with this COVID shit. Like, people are
Mm-hmm.
just present.
Yeah.
And when they're in that present moment, that they're just able to connect, they're able to just see the person in front of them. And the responses that I got from these five people was just
Mm-hmm.
so powerful. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this again.
Yeah.
And I did it again the following, I think 2 months later, I did it again. So I think I went from like five to like maybe 7 or 8 couples, something like that.
Yeah.
And the couple that was in the first class, they came back. I said, y'all know I'm doing the same thing over again. They're like, yeah, we enjoyed it, but we're coming back. I said,
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
And then I did that class, and I think I just started posting it like on my social media and on TikTok at this point. And this is where the power of social media comes in. That's why I can't stand social media. I cannot stand it.
Definitely. Yeah.
But
Love-hate relationship for sure.
it's a
Yeah.
love-hate relationship. My God, it's got me about a chokehold. But I got to show up, because without social media, I would not be. The Sipping Stretch would not be where it's at.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And so somehow I had a little clip, and that thing, it's funny because I'm having a session with somebody. We're having face-to-face sessions at this point, and I'm sitting in my session, and I normally have my phone on like on silent, do not disturb, but I don't know why I had it on. I did not put that mode on, and I just keep hearing my phone, because by this time I'm posting it on TikTok, so I just keep hearing ping, ping, ping. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm looking, and it's sales, sales,
Yeah.
sales. Like afterwards, I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe it.
Love it.
I was shocked. So I think this is probably like month 4 or something like that. Within 6 months, it just flew. So this is probably, I think, summer of 2021. It just, or maybe April or something like that. I can't remember, but it just flew from there. And it has been nonstop since then. It's slowing down a little bit,
Beautiful.
because I'm slowing down a little bit
Okay.
too, and which is necessary.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's basically the story of it.
That is beautiful. I love how so kind of you're just following this calling, right? You don't know how you're
Yeah.
gonna do it. You had no experience in it, but you followed the calling, right? You followed that
Trust the
nudge. You
trust
trusted.
the fucking process.
Okay. Talk
Yeah.
about that, because I know
Yeah.
that's the scary part. Talk about like how you
Oh my
felt.
God.
Talk about like the things that were going on, because that is the scariest part. And we get stuck there. We get stuck in the ick, or we like back up, and we don't realize like we just got to get over that. Like as soon as we get over that little hump, it's like, oh my gosh, so much is waiting on the other side of it. So yeah, please.
And that is the power of yoga, because yoga, as you reminded us earlier, keeps us. We practice yoga so we can practice how to, one, be in touch with ourselves, and how to practice to be in the fucking present moment. And that
Yes.
is the power of yoga. So if I'm in the fucking present moment all the time, I'm still thinking about it, but I'm not thinking about it as much that it's going to stop me. I'm not thinking about these tickets are not going to sell, nobody's going to come, or nobody's going to like this, or it's not going to work out, or I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about what is it that I need to do right now. Like I'm thinking about what's in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about what's in my control. And the more that has been like my saving grace with yoga, because like the more I practice that on the mat, the more I practice that in my life.
Yes. Yes.
And that is what, and I really do believe that is what has helped me to be, I don't want to say so successful, but that is what's helped me to stick with what it is that I'm doing. That is what's helped me to trust the process.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where this is going to end up. I'm just going with it, because that's just, I enjoy it. I like it. It's working.
Yeah.
And I know that it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I trust that it is a good thing for people. I trust that it is, I'm not doing anything harmful,
Yeah.
really. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to put it out good to the world, and it's going to attract the right people. It's going to attract the people that need to be there. And that in itself is part of the process. And that's
Yes.
all I can trust it. All these other things, I don't, how's it going to work? I don't know. I don't have time to worry about that. I can
Yes.
only worry about what is that I know that I want to be part of the process.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. You trust that this is something that people want and need, right? But then you also get the data, right? Like you got the feedback, and the people are like,
Yeah.
yes, this is so needed. We
Yeah.
want this. And then
Yeah.
they come back too, right? So they show you that
Yes.
like, yeah, this is what we want and need. Okay.
Yes. Yes. I'm telling
I just
you,
want to
like,
highlight that for the listeners.
yo, for real. I'm glad you said it, because I'm
Yeah.
always like, my classes, I'm telling you, at least a quarter of the people have already been there. And I tell them, I'm like, I do almost the same thing every time, y'all. I might change it up.
Yeah.
I might change the playlist a little bit, but for the most part, this is the class. And so these people, they continue to show up.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 1/3. I'm like, duplicate. I'm like, all right, nice to see you. I've actually had to learn to stop doing that, because sometimes people show up with a different partner. Things
Okay.
happen.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I've had
Understood.
stories about that. So
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I could absolutely see why people are coming back, because we plan to go back for sure. Like it's gonna happen
Yeah.
because So let's go ahead and move on to the intimacy part of the conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, most people think intimacy is sex, right? And
Yeah.
there's not intimacy, excuse me, is sex, and there's nothing else, right? There's no other types of intimacy. So
Right.
please talk about the other types of intimacy, and please talk about why intimacy is so important, especially for Black people.
And
Okay.
that's the other thing too. I love the people that come to this class. It's because I don't have all the answers. The
Mm,
feedback and the things that I hear and the stories that I hear is why I also keep doing this, because they teach me things.
yeah.
So I cannot tell you how many times I've heard from people that, because again, I'm not a couples therapist. I'm an individual. I work
Right.
mainly with individuals. So people every day, people are learning how to show up in their relationships. Every day,
Yes.
people are learning how to connect with their partners,
Mhm.
because, especially in the Black community, they weren't taught that.
No.
They didn't see that.
No.
I can't tell you how many times people are like, I didn't see this growing up.
Mm-mm.
I didn't think that it was okay for me to hug my partner
Mm.
in public. Or I didn't think it was okay for me to say, you know what, I'm not having a good day today, or this is what I need from you, or this is what I didn't know that it was okay for me to communicate things that I love and things that I don't like, because for whatever reason, I just thought that would like that would maybe ruin the relationship or make you have a bad day. But that's what intimacy is about.
Mm.
Intimacy is about learning how to connect so that we can get through some of these tough things. The
Yeah.
more connected we are, the easier it's going to be for us to deal with the shit that's coming at us, because the shit's
Yes.
going to happen regardless, and
Yes.
it can really take people off their path and their union. But if we're more connected, if I have an idea of what you're going through, if I have an idea, hey, you just want to hug today, you don't want to talk, I can be there for you,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, human connection is so important. That's a whole nother thing too, because
Mhm.
we're so disconnected as humans, but
Yeah.
that's a whole nother subject. But human connection, that is a natural need that we have. So, but a lot of people just don't know how to do it. Especially a lot of Black people, a lot of Black families have never quite seen that
Yep.
in their families,
Absolutely.
because unfortunately, a lot of us have grown up. I don't know if I like the term broken homes, but a lot of us have grown up where we don't see it.
Mm.
People grew up with single families, single moms, single dads, not so much stability going on, or it's not a lot of consistency going on, and who's in the house, things like that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Survival, a lot of things that they see is a lot of survival stuff. So they're not really having to see what it means to nurture connection, what it means to love on somebody, what it means to
Mhm.
receive love.
Mhm.
So I really primarily know the Black community because I'm around mainly Black people my entire life.
Yeah.
So I can't speak for other cultures, but I didn't see a lot of it growing up.
Me neither.
My friends didn't. People that I talked to didn't. Not that it
Mhm.
didn't happen,
Yeah.
but I don't think that was the norm.
Yeah, I mean, it is all about perspective, right? But that is,
Hmm.
and I hate to generalize, but that is kind of general perspective, right? In the Black community, I think. So I grew up single mom for sure. Excuse me. My partner, his parents were together, but they didn't live in the same. Like his father lived in a different place, so neither of us got to really see for a long time, right? Like for our lives, our parents together and like you said, like loving on each other and really connecting. And even if so I grew up I have a big family, they're in the church. And so I do have a lot of uncles who are married, but
Hmm.
what I will say is their love seemed performative. It did not seem genuine.
Yeah.
It did not seem
Yeah.
real. It seemed like when we out and about or when we at church, y'all do one thing,
Right.
but then when we at home,
Right.
it's very different, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, like it's again, it's just not seeing what I want in a relationship and not knowing that
Correct.
what I want in a relationship is okay because I never saw it,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Right. Right. So
absolutely.
That has been the biggest talks with about intimacy when it comes to when I get to talk to the couples, and that's been one of their biggest takeaways. But again, it's a reminder that intimacy, it's not sex. It's sex is not the only way to show intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Intimacy is just about finding how to connect,
Yeah.
and so of course we have physical intimacy. So of course that's going to be all the touching, all the hugging, the kissing, the cuddling, all that stuff. But we can connect in other ways. We
Yeah.
can connect spiritually, doing something spiritual together,
Yeah.
whether that's going to church together, praying together, meditating together, going on walks together, something, something that's bigger than us,
Mm-hmm.
um, and finding different ways to nurture that connection. We can
Absolutely.
connect through our conversations,
Yep.
having these profound, meaningful conversations, outside of the routine stuff,
Mm-hmm.
conversations outside of what's for dinner this week,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on with the kids, what bills need to be paid, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. We can have deeper conversations, and that's intellectual intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
And then my favorite, because I think it's a great domino effect into all the other ones, especially physical, is emotional intimacy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That ability to connect with one another on emotional level, that
Yeah.
ability to be like, you know what, I can really listen to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I can you help me to feel vulnerable. You help me to expose these feelings that I'm very uncomfortable feeling, but because of the environment that you set up, I'm able to expose and share some of those feelings and to be vulnerable and to be honest with you,
Yeah.
even if it's hard for me to talk about, even if it's difficult for you to hear.
Yeah.
I can get there. And sharing that type of connection, man, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. But when
Say it.
sometimes I like to say just men, but I know it's not just men because some women have a difficult time with tapping into this too. But when people learn to tap into people's emotional side, and
Yeah.
not to manipulate, but
Mm-hmm.
to like really tap into somebody's emotional side, they will go hard for you.
Mm-hmm.
They will be down.
Yeah.
They will, if you want to do probably something in the bedroom, they'll probably be more apt to do that because they trust you more.
Yeah.
They know that you got them. They know that you see them. They
Mm-hmm.
know that you're able to be there for them and support them.
Yeah.
And you do that when you can connect on an emotional level. I do not think you can do that on a physical level, so much on a physical. I think physical can only take you so far.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional intimacy will take you down even further.
Yeah.
And that's the part that people don't see that.
Yeah.
People, I think they're starting to, because we're having more talks about what it means to connect emotionally. But we still got a long way to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey y'all, Pink Lady here. I'm a podcast producer, director, coach, and host. And I want to tell you all about my production company, Pink Lady Productions. We collaborate with creatives like you who are driven to share your message by launching your podcast from A to Z and coaching you through the process. To learn more about our services, check out our website at pinkladyprod.com. That's PINKLADYPROD.com.
I think 2025 is such a weird place to be in because it's like on
Jesus.
the one hand we're seeing men be a lot more vulnerable and speak with each other and with women and just in general, right? We're seeing a lot of that, but then
Yeah.
also we got people who want to push us back to the dark ages, right? So it's just like uh, I
It's weird.
yeah, it's just a weird, very fucking weird place to be in. But like, I
Yeah.
I want to acknowledge the progress that I absolutely see. Like, Black men can heal, things like that. Like, yes, please, we need more of it.
Yes.
Everybody needs
Yeah.
to be able to be vulnerable, right? We all
Yeah.
need that. But I'm just saying because of the way society is set up, right?
Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
absolutely, they need those spaces where they can feel safe and be vulnerable
Yeah.
and not like be
Yeah.
vulnerable and then it's flipped against them real quick, right? Like, so Yeah, that's why your
Right.
space is so beautiful, because my big 6'7", 280-pound man, right? Like, he felt very safe and very vulnerable in that space. And we're getting that. We're getting to the point where I can pull that out of him more, or not even pull that out of him. He does it himself, right? We're definitely getting to that point. But spaces like that are very needed, because I think he also needs to see that, like, it's not just us, right? Other people are doing this. It's okay to, like, let your guard
Yes.
down, right? Like, those type of things.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
room, the room that I was in, was packed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think it was all black people too. It may have been a few maybe like people of color and non-black, but it was us in here. We packed out the room, and I love to see things like that too.
Thank you.
It's so
Yeah.
encouraging. It's like, yeah, we on the right
Yeah.
track. We can keep doing this. People are, again, wanting and needing those type of things. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And and again, that's part of the going back to the trusting the process.
Mm.
I didn't know, like, I don't even think I really thought about the word intimacy. It's not like I started this like I'm just gonna help people becoming more intimate.
Yeah.
No, I got approached about doing a class. I saw that people enjoyed it, and I'm gonna make it to the way that I love yoga.
Yeah.
I want to make people in the present moment as much as possible, but I want them to enjoy this. So I'm going to include my playlist. I'm
Yeah.
going to include these little things in there because that's what I like to do. And so the things that people were getting out of this was the bonus that I never even thought about.
Yeah.
Like, people coming in and letting their guard down, people connecting the way that they did, people. Honestly, I've had people end their relationships after
Mm.
sip and stretch class.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you. I had this one. Let me not name the city. I had this one person come up to me and say, "Thank you for making me realize I don't want to spend another year with this person."
Mm.
And that class was her confirmation.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's beautiful too, because people,
Yes.
I feel like a lot of times when relationships end, we feel like we messed up, right? We wasted time. We all the negative feelings, right? We feel all the negative feelings, but we don't necessarily at first really, like, maybe it takes time for us to see the positives, but, like, no, that's not the person I wanted to spend my life with. We don't,
Right.
we just don't, whatever, our values don't match, our whatever doesn't match. But, like, no, that frees me up to find somebody else who is more of my match. And maybe
Aligned.
maybe you just want to be single, right? That's okay
Yeah.
too, right? But
Mm-hmm.
also, it just frees up you to find the things that
Mm-hmm.
are, like you said, in alignment with you. And
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about making it your own, and in entrepreneurship, we know that that is, like, super important, right? Um, because that's what the clients want. That's what they're attracted to, right? It's something about you,
Authenticity.
absolutely, something about the way you do it. Nobody else is doing it that way, right? Somebody may have something that's similar to what you built, but you are the draw, right? You are the thing that's drawing people in. So just talk about, like, how you make it your own, and what that looks like and why that's important.
Yeah, so to go back a little bit, I did my certification in 2018 and I went to India for that. So
Okay.
it's very traditional and I did a 30-day, I think, something like that. It's a very traditional teaching, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not a traditional girl. I'm one of those even well, I take what I need and I leave. So when I don't claim a religion, but I remember when I used to go to church, people would be like, "You are an a la carte Christian," and I'm like, "What does that mean?"
I like
I'm
that.
like,
I'm gonna use
"What does
that.
that mean?" Right? And they're like, you take what you need, you don't even follow through." And I'm like, you know what? I can't even get mad at you because you're
Yeah.
right. That is just how I do things. It
Yeah.
just like it just has to make sense to me. That's
Yeah.
just who I am. And so yoga is very much that. Like I was like, if these people saw how I teach this class and people that taught me, they'd be like, "You are shunned, and you cannot say that you got your teachings
Yeah.
from us," right? So I remember when I started teaching individual yoga classes, and I think I've done like less than 10 my entire
Mm.
life. So when I started doing individual classes, I'm trying to do it in the way that I would see people on YouTube do it. I would try to do
Okay.
it in the way that I was taught. I was trying to do it in a way of how whenever I go to people's classes, how they would do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it never felt right.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like a fraud, like the imposter syndrome was
Mm-hmm.
real.
Mm-hmm.
Like what did they say to hold the breath for how long, or
Yeah.
how long should they be in this pose? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So with sip and stretch, and starting to do the couples yoga class, I just I was like, I'm just gonna do it how I practice at home.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do how I practice at home. And it's not normal, it's not traditional. I don't think people practice like this, but I don't know because I don't really go to other people's classes. But I'm just gonna do it like how I do it.
Yeah.
And that has been something that I tell people when they're getting into any business is to be yourself.
Mm. Yes.
One, you are not for everybody, and everybody's not for you.
Yep.
And once you have learned to be okay with that, you have no other choice but to be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Once you are trying not to get every like to take that net and get all the fishes. No, you're going to just get the fishes that align with you,
Yeah.
and you got to be okay with that. And
Yes.
the more you do that, the more true you are to how you're going to do your business. In my case, how I'm going to facilitate my classes. And so when people are like, "How did you come up with that?" I'm like, I just facilitate the class. Like if you come watch me at home when I practice, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Except without somebody, but by myself, you know.
Right.
So it's so important for us to. I mean, I know it's a tired thing people get tired of. Although I think people, because with AI now and all this fake shit going on, I
Mm-hmm.
think people are really craving people to be real and that authenticity. But
Yep.
you just gotta be yourself, man, and you
Yeah.
gotta be okay with people that are for you and people that are not for you, and just keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, when you are true to yourself, I really think things will flow, things will plan, things will just happen the way that they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So that's how the class that's how the class is structured.
Yeah. 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 I
Yeah.
what you saying about like, people are everybody's not for you, right?
Yeah.
Period, right? And that's so true. And I think a lot of the times we get scared, and we want to kind of cater to like everybody, right? And it's like, no, like you have an audience for a reason, right? So getting clear on your audience, I think, is a big part of that too. I mean, of course, being yourself everywhere, right? Not just when you're home with your friends, right? Like bringing that self into everything that you do. Because I definitely used to feel like I could be this way with my friends, and then I have to be this way with my family, and then in business I can be this way. And it's just like
Hmm.
that is exhausting, first of all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not sustainable. It's like they're going to bleed into each other, right? So it's maybe not easier at first, right? Because again, this is a society that tells you not to be yourself, to conform to all these things, right? But again, once you get over or accept the fact that like, yeah, everybody's not for you, and being yourself calls in those people that are in alignment with you. Once you accept that, absolutely, it is kind of it's smoother. And I'm not saying
Gold.
that every day gonna be easy after that. No.
Right.
That it's life, right? Life still is hard
Right.
at times, right?
Right.
But it knowing who you are and accepting that like there are those people that are not going to be for you at all. There are those people that are going to pretend to be for you, but then they're going to show up realistically, and they're
Right.
not actually for you. And I've
Right.
I've definitely had that experience. So yeah, that's just really really important, making it your own.
And the more you do that, because I know I always come across people that do a lot with imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you are more aligned to yourself, the less you'll be asking, am I being an imposter right now? The less
Mm,
the less that you'll be doubting yourself.
right.
And the more confident that you are in who you are and what it is that you're doing, because you ain't trying to be like nobody else but you,
Right. Yeah.
you know? And so I'm heavy on that. And not to
Yeah.
say, of course, I wear these different hats. So even like in my therapy sessions, my clients, like, I am who I am, right? And it's their session, of course. So they're but but there are some of my personalities that do come out.
Okay.
And I always tell people I'm not the greatest therapist. I'm really not. I don't have all the skills. I'm not EMD. I'm not trained in this. I'm not trained in that. But I think because I show up as authentic is why I'm able to maintain the clients for as long as I have. Why
Mm,
people do keep coming back. I think because I'm showing up at myself. Not that they see all of Derdine, but the parts that they see is the real part of me,
yeah.
like they don't need to see that, I have a 14-year-old daughter, or like I've had a, you know, big heartbreaks or whatever it is, or I've been divorced. They don't need to see all
Mm,
that unless it's pertinent. But these other things that are appropriate for that space, they'll see that, and
yeah.
it's authentic. It's who I am. And so I think it just goes back to people just want to be real, especially with all this fake stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't know what's real anymore. We don't know what's
Yeah.
AI anymore. We don't.
Seriously. All these videos, I'm
Yeah.
like, that gotta be AI. It can't be real. Like,
I don't even know. I
what?
don't even know anymore. I don't even know anymore. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
definitely I agree. I believe people are definitely craving that
Mm-hmm.
real authentic connection, right? Again, because you said
Yes.
human connection, absolutely. Um Talk about how your background in therapy kind of informs what you do with yoga and sip and stretch and any other endeavors that you have.
It's yeah. I don't know how I forgot that part, but yeah, people. I've never been to another partner or couples yoga class before, but I do get the feedback. They're like, I can tell that you're a therapist
Mhm.
because of the way that you facilitate the class. But in therapy, rapport building is big. It's important to make people feel comfortable, make people feel at home,
Yeah.
make people feel at ease. So I think a lot of those skills come in. Um, Meeting people where they're at is also very important in therapy.
Yeah.
Not forcing people to do anything, and yoga is the same thing. It's, I know you want to learn how to do a headstand right now, but you got to meet yourself where you're at. If
Mhm.
you're only able to, you know, put your head down comfortably for 10 seconds, that's where you start off at. So even in facilitating the classes, when we're doing these things, it's, learning to pay attention to what your body can do.
Mm.
And you may not be able to do what all the other people else are doing. You may not be able to go all the way down to this fourfold, but it's not about that.
Mhm.
It's about, I'm encouraging you to, one, meet you where you are at. I don't, if you cannot touch your head down to your knees, that's not the goal. The goal is to, one, meet me where you're at. And if where you're at is I can only maybe go about 45-degree angle, cool, nice and slow. We're
Yep.
just going to focus on where you're at and what you need right now. And that's just breathing, that's paying attention to what I can do and what I can't do, and then just staying there.
Yep.
And that, yoga is about paying attention to your needs, and therapy is very much about paying attention to your needs, and in my facilitating, meeting people where they're at, not forcing them to do something that
Yeah.
is not there.
Yeah.
And even in the questions that I ask in sessions, or not in session, but in my in the sip and stretch classes, it's not forcing anybody to, how can I say this? It's not forcing anyone to be like, tell them you love them,
Right.
or
Right.
tell them how much you're gonna, we're not doing that, because
Mhm.
that person may not want to leave with you after this class. It's really your moment to be present
Yeah.
and figure out what it is where you're at with this person in this relationship,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, you
and to
definitely say
reflect.
that in the class where you're like, don't be trying to do all this extra stuff that you can't do. Feel
Right.
what you feel, allow your body to lead you. Like you say all of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I love that
Yeah.
too, because you're looking around, you automatically just kind of want to compare, right? And it's like, no, it's not about the comparison. It's about who you
Yeah.
are here with, right? And doing those
Yes.
things. Um
Yeah.
Sitting in the discomfort, right? That
Sitting
is,
in the
oh
discomfort.
yeah, we don't want to do that. Let's move on. Let's get through
No.
this. Let's run, right?
Yeah,
Like, and it's
right.
like,
Play the
no.
music.
No, absolutely. We need, because that's how
Yeah.
you heal, right? Like you can't heal
Yeah.
without thinking about these things and sitting in that uncomfortableness. Like, yeah, like that's how you get through these things. So yeah,
Yeah. Breathe through it.
on
I
the
promise you'll
money.
get through it. You just gotta stay out. You just gotta
Yeah,
stay in it. You'll get through it.
yeah,
You'll get through it. And that's what trust, going back to trusting the process.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. These things are not happening, but if you trust the process, you just got to get through the discomfort. Just get through
Mhm.
it. Just get through it.
Mhm.
And eventually on the other side,
Yeah.
something waiting for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we have been vibing. This has been a great conversation. But we do need to get into the entrepreneurship talk because that is what the podcast is all about, right?
Hmm.
So please tell the people, what does being an entrepreneur mean to you?
Oh my goodness. Okay. First of all, I've learned to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
This was not, if I had a timeline of my life, this being an entrepreneur was never it. I saw my parents do it, and I didn't want any of it.
Ah, okay.
And I don't want any of it because they, at the end of the day, and this will go why this word is so important to me. But at
Mm,
the end of the day, their businesses did not end well.
mm,
Well, my dad's business didn't end well, and it's mainly he did really strong. He was in restaurant business. He was a chef, and he did really really well. And then he didn't, when things were calling for a change, he didn't change. So
mm,
I didn't realize he was the reason. I think he was the reason why I didn't want to go, and I never thought about being an entrepreneur. But this is what I've learned that I've had to do now that now I'm in this world of entrepreneurship. And that is what it means to me is you have to show up every day.
mm.
You gotta show up every day when the sales are not happening, when nobody's looking at your views, when no one's following, or if there's very little, especially if it used to be really high but now it's low.
Mhm.
The ups and downs of it, you got to show up,
Yeah.
because even when you're down, the little things that you do, the little ways of showing up, it can it can have a positive impact that you may not see at that moment.
Mm,
It can yield
yeah.
a result that you may not see at that moment. And that
Absolutely.
kind of goes back to one, trusting the process, and it kind of goes back to just doing what you can, baby stepping it, and eventually I got to believe that this is all going to work out for me, right?
Yeah.
So showing up in entrepreneurship, you got to show up when you're tired.
Mhm.
I sometimes miss the 9 to 5 because I could just go, and then when I go home, I turn it off,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But I wouldn't trade being here for anything, just because I love what I do and the impact that it has on people.
Yeah.
But if I don't show up, if I don't, despite how sales are going, despite the things that I don't have control over, if I don't show up, it's gonna die. And showing up and learning how to pivot. Oh
Mm.
my gosh,
Mhm.
social media teaches you. That's the other good thing about social media, is because it is a beast. The algorithm is a beast, and you gotta learn how to. What worked today does not mean it's gonna work 2 months from now.
Okay.
Things are always changing, and if you do not learn how to pivot and how to change with some of these things
Yeah.
that again are still true to you,
Yeah.
but if you don't learn how to change, then I don't your business is not really going to survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot going on. There's other people doing similar things, and you got to learn how to roll with some of these changes that are happening. If
Absolutely.
not, you're going to stay behind, and your business is going to stay behind. So to me, I think there's a difference between being a business owner and being an entrepreneur. An
Mm.
entrepreneur, like business, is you're just keeping the business afloat, doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
But I think entrepreneurship is very, very mindset, because despite what is going on, you have got to put yourself in a mindset to show up, see what's happening, and to pivot when you need to.
Yes.
Even when there's risk, there's risk, you got to go for it, and the rewards will come. So because we always want to, things are always going good when we're seeing results, when we're
Mhm.
seeing the rewards, people always want to show up, and it's hard to show up when we're not seeing so much of that,
Yep.
and we're seeing,
Yeah.
what I mean. So but that's where mindset is, and that's where I think it is different in being an entrepreneur versus a business owner, is that mindset. I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest difference for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love all the advice you give, especially the like knowing when to pivot. Um, because again, like we'll get stuck in a problem or an issue, and we'll feel stuck, right? And we feel like there's nothing to do. Like, how do I get out of this? But that's knowing when to pivot, right? Knowing when to take all
Yes.
that you do and package it differently,
Yes.
or change a thing,
Yes.
tweak a thing. It
Yes.
doesn't always have to be a huge change, right? Like, oh, I'm in
Correct.
banking and I'm going to now, go into theater. Like, it doesn't have to be like a huge change like that, right?
Right.
It could be like,
Right.
I do
Right.
this thing, right? I provide this service, and now I'm going to, I don't know, add to it, right? And now I'm going to show up in person. I'm going to add virtual to it because I've been doing it in person. Things like
Yes.
that. I don't know. Just like,
Yes. Absolutely.
it doesn't always have to be a
Yeah.
huge thing.
My thing before was social media. I can sell through social media. I can sell through social media because my things would just always skyrocket. It would get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But social media has changed.
Yes.
And if I kept depending on social media, I would not be selling out some of these
Mm,
classes. So I've had to pivot. I've had to start networking. I've had to start reaching out to people, to different couples groups, to
yeah.
marriage groups. I've had to do things that I don't want to
Okay.
do. But in order, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in order for me to keep this engine going,
Yeah.
I've had to still be who I am, but make some of these small
Yeah.
changes, and it doesn't cost me much. I've had to do ads, and I'm like, and I used to be like, I didn't have to do this before. Well,
Yeah.
Derdine, times have changed, and you've
Yeah.
had to change it up. If you want to survive this, you got to change it up. You got to do these little changes,
Absolutely.
So if you don't look for that,
Yeah.
PT,
Okay.
you're not going to survive it,
Yeah.
and that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And that all comes with learning, right? It's like, not
Yes.
you can't expect yourself to know these things at the beginning of
No.
the journey, right? Like, you're not
Yeah.
an expert yet. You become an expert by
Right.
learning all the things, by going through all the things. So yeah.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
exhausting. It's so
Okay.
exhausting, but it's worth it.
Absolutely.
most days.
Like
Most days.
okay, because sometimes I have to
Right.
have a talk with my boss, who is me, and be like,
Oh,
"You need to chill out."
right.
Okay?
Right. Right. Let's
So,
be honest.
yeah.
Let us be honest. That's why I don't say all days it's worth it because it's not.
Mm,
But most days it's worth it.
I
So I
agree.
can deal with that.
I
It don't need to
agree.
be completely absolute.
Right. And I
But
mean, like you
you
said, I
know,
would not change this for nothing. I
no.
talk shit all the time about, like, I'm about to just go and get me a job. But I know good and well, no, this is what I'm meant to be doing. So it's
Yeah,
different.
and honestly, even if you did, even if it's like, well, then maybe I'll still keep doing this, but I'm gonna do a job for like 10 hours, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's the pivot. That's the pivot that you had to do at that time. And
Absolutely.
then when you get to a point, I don't want to do this anymore, then cool, you pivot again.
Absolutely.
But allowing yourself that flexibility. And some people, some people are just very tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And if you allow that tunnel, I mean, you just gotta be flexible. You gotta be
Yeah.
flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um so, I mean, you've given a lot of great advice. Trust the process, show up, all
Oh,
of these things. But I do have to ask just the last question always. If you have
yes.
any specific advice for Black women entrepreneurs, what would it be?
My biggest one is, believe it or not, I don't know other people's experiences. And I'm a girl's girl. I love women. I love women. I'm gonna
Same.
ride or die for women, all of
Same.
that. I just think we're just so powerful,
Yes.
and not all of us, but most of us we're good people,
Yes.
and we just want to work our hardest. But black women supporting other black women
Mm.
is like no other.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to explain unless maybe I don't even know how to explain it honestly, but I would say tap into your resources and tap into working with other black women if possible. I know not everybody is going to be on the same page, and maybe you'll even have some kind of rift or tension with some people, but I think the majority of black women really want to see other black women do well.
Mm.
So to hone that in a little bit more, maybe finding like-minded black women,
Yeah.
an accountability group. It doesn't even have to be about among your same industry, but just finding an accountability group or somebody to just kind of like tap into, just go back and forth different ideas
Yeah.
with. Um, I think is really, really important, especially when you're doing it with somebody that looks like you, that understands the struggle, because in this yoga world, it is very much so a struggle for Black people, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as big as this is, there's so many non-Black people that are very disconnected from what it is that Sip and Stretch is doing. They just have they have no idea. They have no idea. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. I can't even talk about that right now.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I would say definitely being like-minded folks. Black women support Black women, believe it or not. Despite what you've heard, Black women do support other Black women,
Absolutely.
and yeah, I think those are my biggest takeaways.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. This podcast is like a great example of Black women supporting Black women, because that's
Yes,
what this podcast is all about. Black women entrepreneurs, okay? Like
I love it. I'm so
that's
happy you're
it.
doing
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Absolutely, because that's my community. That's who I want to learn from. That's who I want to talk to. So yeah, absolutely. I love that advice, and I think it's great advice too. And I think you're absolutely right. The majority of us want to see us win. You got your
yes,
outliers, right? You absolutely, there always are
yes,
outliers, but the
yes,
majority of us are willing to like hold each
yes,
other up, hold each other accountable, share
yes,
resources, all
yes,
that, donate, okay, buy your
yes,
services, all of that.
yes.
So yeah, tap
Yes,
into that.
I'm not. I want to say I don't really see it in other cultures, but I'm not in other cultures like that.
Right.
But I see it a lot in our
Yeah.
culture, a lot in our culture. So it's just, yeah, the majority of us really want to see us win. They
Yeah.
really do, because I don't know. It's very different being in a space. We've always been in spaces that are not predominantly Black,
Mhm.
just growing up in America.
Yep.
Um, but when you are in a space that where they celebrate you, where
Mhm.
they acknowledge you, where they see you,
Mm.
they see your struggles, they see your wins, it's different. It's
Yeah.
very, very different.
Yeah.
And my daughter, who's 14, she's starting to see that now.
Yeah.
She's starting to see that. She's like, Mom, she's like, I want to go. She's like, I think I want to go to HBCU,
Oh,
because oh, I know. And I
yes, we love
and
it.
we love it. And I said, why? And she's like, I just want to wake up one day and not just be where the people that I'm around that's Black is my family. She's like, I want to see what that's like. And I
Yeah.
said, please do so. Please
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, we
It's
love
just
that.
different. You can't explain. It's just different. And she wants
Absolutely.
to experience that.
And you know,
So yeah.
we don't have to say anything else, because we know. We know,
We
right? And the
know.
listeners, everybody in the
Exactly.
audience, all the Black women in the audience, we know, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, we know.
Most of us know, yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Most of us know.